This is the Generation Report. Popular history, writes the duly named entry in Wikipedia, is a broad genre that takes a popular approach and usually emphasizes narrative, personality, and vivid detail over scholarly analysis. Even if you don't believe Wikipedia is the world's most reliable information source, you have to admit that's a pretty good description. And description matters here because there is no formal definition for popular history. It isn't concrete enough to make a serious definition worthwhile. Descriptions of popular historians are mostly general and imprecise for the same reason. Wikipedia, for its part, tells us that many popular historians are authors of renown who started out as journalists, that many are writers or academics who have taken to television where they are able, and that they may or may not serve the interests of particular political viewpoints. You get the picture. All we can say about popular historians conclusively is that we know them when we see them. Actually, there is one more thing we can say. But first, some context. Popular history and popular historians have been around for a long time, but the dominant perspective they present on American history today is quite different from what they used to present in the past. The current popular memoir perspective on American history was described in a 2017 New Yorker profile of filmmaker Ken Burns as a tale of wounding and healing, shame and redemption, a quasi-therapeutic exercise in national unburdening. If you've seen even one of Ken Burns' films, you're probably silently nodding your head. In hindsight, it's clear that once this memoir style and sensibility took over popular history, the stage was set for the total homogenization of popular historians. How do we know this? Because the people who fit the popular historian label today all seem to speak in a common language. The same historical analogies, the same affirmations of the same leaders, the same warnings about the state of democracy, the same quasi-therapeutic gobbledygook.
This was an extraordinary week for leadership. We saw Zelensky come and all the reminders of the fact that 81 years ago, Winston Churchill came for the same reason.
Country over party in times of crisis. Incorruptible leaders such as Cassidy Hutchinson and Liz Cheney.
A party based on a lie.
He strained many key elements of the democratic process.
All of these bills are not inclusive, they're exclusive. It's terrifying. It feels like a Soviet system, or, the way the Nazis would build a Potemkin village.
Our main purpose was to push back against some of the lies and myths that are out there. Patriotic education, we'll see certainly historians try to push back against that as well.
This authoritarianism and ugliness reminds me of one person, and that is very much outside the American tradition.
Power divorced from conscience is fatal to liberty under law.
Democracy, which has been the hallmark since old George Washington.
Americans gave their lives at Valley Forge and on D-Day and at Selma.
It was on Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass and that generation. It's on us.
But this is who we are.
If we don't have a democracy, if we lose our freedoms, if we lose elections, then it's not going to matter very much what gas prices are.
It's an extraordinary thing to see. Now we just got to get them the weapons they need to go on the offensive. There's still a lot more to be done.
You're reminded again that words matter, that this is not a reality show.
But those institutions are now under assault in essentially fundamental ways. The time to save a democracy is before it's lost.
And thinking about the fact that there is another God, uppercase G, I think is reassuring.
It's almost as if admission into the Popular Historians Club rests on not only the recognition necessary to draw an audience, but on the willingness to continually talk about the past and the present in a certain way. And there you have it. In 2023, the role of popular historians, their job description, is to tell their fellow elites and the people in charge what they want to hear.
It's about why one gets up in the morning to do what one does.
Writing in The Fourth Turning in 1997, Strauss and Howe observed that there had been a devaluation of history throughout our society. This observation, to be sure, was not new. President Reagan warned that appreciation of American history was in decline in his farewell address 8 years before. But what's poignant now is it can no longer be denied that in the wake of these and related warnings going unheeded, history has descended into something approaching genuine degradation. How much blame rests with popular history as a cause of that descent is a matter of interpretation, but there's no question that popular historians have been the ultimate beneficiaries. And in the ongoing battle to settle American history and its meaning without conversation or compromise, they will continue to be the beneficiaries so long as they align with the people in charge. In closing, there's no way to sugarcoat it. Popular history and history presented through the Strauss-Howe framework are in total conflict. One lens assesses the past, gives context to the present, and lays out possibilities for the future based on observable rhythms and patterns in social experience and on the way human beings really are. The other lens pretends to. It should be very obvious which is which, and it's past time that we see popular historians for what their role really is and what purpose they really serve.
When you're up here, you begin to think you're a little closer to the big guy, right?
Well, we've never seen anything like this in the whole history of the United States.
Which sounds rather grand, but it has the virtue of being true. It's incumbent on us to tell a different story.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoy this series, please like this episode, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share the series with as many people as you can. I'm Paul Zimi Finn. May God bless America.